Let me in!
Let me in. Restore the Wi-Fi now. You stole it for years. This ends today.
The HOA president dialed 911 the moment I cut off the Wi-Fi and posted a no camping sign on my own land. She had no clue I'd planned every step. With one push of a button on the access system and a forgotten clause in the neighborhood covenant that no one in the HOA had ever spotted. Barbara, the woman who'd once tried to get kids suspended from school for setting up tents after dark, stood there yelling, jabbing her finger in my face, then whipping out her phone like I'd just robbed a bank. The cops showed up, looking ready to hand out tickets. But when I pulled a document from my coat pocket, her smug grin vanished. Officer Ramirez read it slowly, then paused. Barbara, the queen of the HOA, went quiet. No more shouts, no more accusations, just her stranded outside, pleading for something she'd never get, while every escape route was bolted shut. Do you think a basic no camping sign could shake an entire homeowners association to its core? Before I explain how Barbara ended up begging at the gate, I need to tell you about the highlighted memo my grandmother Elizabeth sent to the town mayor back in 1987. That memo changed the game. But first, let's set the stage right. My name is John Miller. I'm 34, a software architect by trade. 3 months ago, I inherited a stunning 2-acre lot from my grandmother, Elizabeth Thompson, who'd served as the town's chief accountant for 4 decades. The property borders Oak Ridge Meadows, one of those upscale HOA neighborhoods where every lawn must be manicured to perfection and you need approval to hang a bird feeder. The land is a gentle hills dotted with ancient maples and a babbling brook in the back. My 8-year-old daughter, Sophie, adored it from the start. She'd been begging to go camping for ages, and this was ideal. Sophie's sharp as a tack, already tinkering with basic coding and questioning how the world works. She pitched her little green tent under the largest maple, stringing up LED lights she'd programmed to twinkle in patterns. It was wholesome, harmless, and totally legal on our private property. That's when Barbara Kingsley stormed in. Barbara is 52, a retired corporate attorney who'd bowed out early after a brutal divorce that stripped her of most assets. She'd ruled the HOA for 3 years like a mini dictator. Imagine someone who starches her khakis and sorts her gardening tools by color. That's Barbara. She knocked on my door one Tuesday morning, clipboard clutched, flashing a smile that screamed trouble. "Mr. Miller," she said sweetly, but with an edge. "I'm Barbara Kingsley, president of the Oak Ridge Meadows Homeowners Association. We've had complaints about the camping setup on your land." She nodded towards Sophie's tent like it was a junkyard eyesore. "I get your concern, Barbara, but this is private property. My daughter's having fun, and we're not breaking any county rules." Inside, I worried about Sophie's been thrilled with her setup, and I didn't want some control freak spoiling it. But giving in to bullies only invites more. Barbara's smile tightened. "Well, Mr. Miller, there are local regs on unauthorized camping, even on private land, plus ordinances about upkeep and waste. I'd hate for you to get fined." The veiled threat hung there, sugar-coated. "I'm sure we can find a compromise. Maybe move the tent out of sight." That's when I slipped up, though I didn't know it yet. He politely said no. We'd keep it put. Barbara's polite mask cracked, showing the real her, someone allergic to no. She bounced back fast, but not before a parting shot that sealed her fate. "Fine, Mr. Miller. But remember, some of us work hard on this neighborhood's security and services. It'd be a pity if amenities glitched over neighbor spats." She eyed the faint cell tower in the trees. "I trust you're enjoying that strong internet signal." Shame if issues popped up. Her words nagged me as she clicked away in her heels. Something about the internet jab felt too pointed. That evening, my neighbor Alex Reed dropped by to admire Sophie's tent. Alex is 26, a remote network expert with a garage full of gadgets that'd impress the NSA. "Man, that Barbara is a handful," he said, tweaking one of Sophie's lights. "Speaking of signals, I've been scanning local networks. Want to see something wild?" He fired up a pro Wi-Fi analyzer, its screen buzzing with data flows. "Your network's hauling way more traffic than normal, about 40% extra for 3 years. The patterns match the HOA's gate security cams." My gut sank. "You're saying the HOA's been piggybacking on my Wi-Fi for their whole system?" Alex nodded. "Stealing it, basically. Hundreds in costs dumped on you. And from how Barbara talked today, she knows." As Alex left, Sophie bounded over with her tablet. Dad, check my app. She'd built a digital watchdog that glowed red on unauthorized access. It was blazing red, tallying stolen data. I kissed her goodnight in the tent, but my brain raced. Barbara wasn't just Nazish been thieving for years, and now thought she could boss my land. If she wanted a fight, she'd get one. Next morning, I changed my Wi-Fi password. What Barbara didn't know was I'd just unearthed that 1987 memo from Grandma Elizabeth to the mayor in the basement. It was gold. After the password swap, I rummaged through her old files, decades of precise records. In a folder labeled Easement Rights, Oak Ridge Development 1987, there it was, a notarized memo exchange with the mayor, stamped official. It detailed the HOA's founding, granting my grandma's land perpetual easement through the main gate, plus a master key copy. The memo was ironclad. Our property had irrevocable access, including during disputes, transferable to heirs. Jackpot. Barbara had no leverage, and I had more gate rights than most HOA folks. But the Wi-Fi theft ran deeper. Alex returned that afternoon with a forensic bandwidth report. John, it's worse. Barbara has tapped at least 4 other homes' routers without consent. Logs showed 3 years of hacks, password changes, traffic reroutes, email spying. She'd conned neighbors into sharing logins for security tweaks, then built her empire on their dime. Sophie geeked out on the tech. Dad, I can upgrade my app to map where the stolen data goes. In an hour, her revamped tool visualized flows, pinpointing HOA security and Barbara's personal devices, streaming, backups, even work apps. She wasn't just communal thieving, it was personal gain. Then Mrs. Elena Garcia knocked. At 78, she'd outlived most, with eagle eyes and surprising tech savvy. John, I've got photos. Her phone album, HOA Shenanigans, held 200-plus time-stamped shots. Barbara trespassing, snapping home pics, threatening folks. Most damning, images of Barbara at homes with a laptop, matching Alex's hack times. Last week, I recorded her on the phone about tracking troublemakers, mentioned you specifically. She's been binocular watching Sophie's tent. A chill hit me. This wasn't disputes, it was stalking. But she'd overlooked Elena's vigilance. That night, I explained to Sophie simply, grown-ups sometimes take what's not theirs and spy. Barbara's been stealing our internet and watching us. Sophie nodded. Like hacking? We gotta stop her. My app can help. It became about teaching her bullies lose when good folks stand up. Next morning, I called Officer Ramirez about harassment and cybercrimes, then the HOA secretary for an emergency meeting on fiduciary breaches. When Sophie's app flashed, theft detected, Ramirez nearly chuckled. Thursday, Barbara arrived with her lawyer Robert Hayes and Ramirez, primed to bully me. Dressed sharp, briefcase in tow, she boomed. Mr. Miller, you're sabotaging community ops and breaking ordinances. We have a cease and desist. Hayes proffered papers. Impressive theater, but she misjudged me. Thanks for coming, I said coolly, producing the memo, Alex's report, and Sophie's tablet. Officer, this covers everyone's rights. Ramirez scanned the memo, smirking. Ma'am, Mr. Miller's easements trump HOA rules. Sophie demoed her app, red dots flaring for live theft. Hayes hedged. We should address cyber claims first. Barbara flushed crimson. Alex and Elena arrived with more proof. Network forensics and Elena's videos of Barbara spying. One clip showed her car stalking my house at dawn. Ramirez's face hardened. Explain this surveillance, Mrs. Kingsley. I added. HOA bylaws require mediation before suit. She skipped it. Sophie's app beeped dramatically. Breach detected. The tide turned. Barbara ranted. Fabricated. I won't be bullied by outsiders. Ramirez shut his notebook. Cease spying now. File complaints, Mr. Miller. But Barbara hissed. 48 hours to dismantle that tent and restore access, or you'll see HOA power. Witness threat, recorded. That night, an email thread arrived from a burner, but traced to my IP. She'd hacked me to send it. Dad, my upgraded app sees it all, Sophie said. It mapped the hack to Barbara. Alex's logs revealed broader warfare. 6 families spied on. Internet throttled for critics. She'd faked support roles for passwords, punishing dissent. While she smeared me on the neighborhood Facebook as a threat, posting Sophie's tent as vagrant proof. Alex and Sophie countered with Oak Ridge Meadowstruth.com real-time theft map. Hours later, it exploded. 17 families checked, 12 found victimized. Outrage built slow speeds tied to HOA beefs, spied emails, kid monitoring. The Facebook group flipped against her. Barbara called an emergency meeting, accusing cyber terror. At the center, devices buzzed with Sophie's alerts-live intrusions from Barbara's laptop. Chaos erupted as she proved my hacks, but exposed hers on the projector. The room boiled. Demands for her resignation flew. Desperate, she emailed another threat, overnight metadata confessing hacks, surveillance, even using my network to frame me. Alex gasped. She spied your emails. Sophie's schoolwork launched attacks from here. Sophie worried. She watched my homework? I reassured. We have proof now. I tried one last mediation with Ramirez witnessing. Barbara exploded. No deals with terrorists. Her new lawyer cringed as Sophie showed live hacks. You want proof? Barbara yelled, admitting admin control and threats. I can shut it all down. Ramirez rose. That's criminal intent. She stormed out. By tonight, you'll be cut off. She locked the gate, cut my power overnight. Sophie peered out. She did it, Dad. But I had the memo and master key. Her biggest blunder. The easement let me override in disputes. I called Ramirez, Alex, and Sophie's livestream app. Morning, Oak Ridge, I broadcast. Watch what abuse of power gets. Viewers surged as I unlocked the gate with my key. Barbara charged in her robe, shrieking, "Trespasser!" The stream captured it. Barbara, blocking easements is a felony. Ramirez arrived mid-meltdown. She raved. I control everything, not some brat. Insulting Sophie alienated all. Using the key, I relocked from inside, trapping her out. Apologize, resign, or face FBI. She pounded the gate. Let me in. This is my home. Neighbors watched her beg. Please. It spiraled. I just wanted order. Honest at last, but too late. Ramirez arrested her for fraud, theft, harassment. FBI had our evidence. Her confession sealed it. 6 months on, Barbara got 18 months prison, restitution, lifetime HOA ban. The board reformed, transparent, apologetic to us. Sophie's coding camp bloomed on our land, teaching kids ethical tech amid nature. She built our free community network, secure and fair. Elena documented joys now. Others fostered real support. Then, one summer morning, Barbara returned post-prison humbled, simple. John, Sophie. I apologize truly. Prison made me see my fears turn me monstrous. After my divorce, HOA power was all I had. Your defiance scared me. I felt unexpected pity. Takes guts to admit. She added, I learned coding inside. Could Sophie teach me ethics? I'll volunteer for privacy protection. Sophie pondered. Coding helps, not hurts. Join Tuesdays. Months later, Barbara assisted, her skills aiding adult classes on digital rights. Our tale showed tech, forgiveness, and community heal wounds. Sophie's tent now anchors a hub where students learn to build better worlds. The key fights aren't with rage, but principles and belief in change. What do you think about the violence and injustice woven into everyday power struggles like this? Share your thoughts in the comments. Take a stand on whether redemption is always possible or if some actions deserve permanent consequences. Your views could spark a great discussion.